Alright, Schlockmeister fans, an 80s teen sex comedy classic. It's Zapped, Scott Baio and Willie Ames. Let's watch. Scott Baio and Willie Ames, Barney and Peyton.
Since when did you become a boozer?
Oh, no. The school club wants a report on diving into the influence.
Heather Thomas is also in this movie, and there's her butt.
Smile! Brooke B, senior edition.
Hey, you print that off too!
I could never foresee.
Peyton is getting it on with one of the teachers.
That is when you were better lines.
Catman Crothers.
Double whammy. But you know something? My old lady won't let me eat salami no more. Says it causes cancer. Maybe you ought to drop this petunia shit. Figure out a cure for that sucker.
Well, Barney's working on something, and apparently it's giving the mice telekinetic powers.
Edgar, how did you get that?
And when he breaks it, he gets zapped. Which he discovers gives him telekinetic powers also. Peyton notices, as does this girl named Bernadette.
You act like preschool, and that's a little immature for me.
Wow!
Bernadette spies on Barney and sees what he's doing. She kind of has a thing for Barney as well. She also has some really big 80s glasses. He has fun with his toys too.
Do we have a reading?
Yes, Captain. Computer indicates we're about to be swallowed by a giant sheepdog.
For God's sake, I hope he's been warned.
Nose picker.
Alan, take your thing out of here, little. What did I tell you about that shit? Now suck it. Suck it.
His team hasn't won a game all year. He hasn't even had a hit or an at-bat. Because he sucks too. But not today. Game-winning home run. Well, the teacher discovered that Peyton and Barney have been growing marijuana. She's about to report that, but luckily they saw her. And when they come back, it's gone, of course. They've put it in the incinerator, and Dexter finds it and gets a hell of a dose. And he has a dream sequence with Aunt Esther shooting salami at him. That's his wife. Peyton and the preppy guy drink a lot of beer, and then the first one who pukes loses. Of course, Barney helps out, making him spin faster. So, Peyton manages to get Jane back at his place.
I don't want you to do anything you don't want to.
You don't? What was that?
What was what?
That flash. Something flashed.
Another 80s love montage between Barney and Bernadette. A music video portion of the film, which results in them doing the deed, of course. Barney and Peyton go play roulette. They find out that the board's been fixed. The wheel. But Barney can beat that, of course. He's been acting strangely, so his parents think he's on drugs or perhaps needs an exorcism. So he decides to scare the crap out of them. At the prom or homecoming or whatever, Peyton and Jane are king and queen.
I'd just like to say,
She's not thrilled.
a great year.
Peyton shows him the picture that he took of Jane topless. Well, kind of in a Carrie parody, he makes everything go crazy at the prom. A lot of nudity here too, which I can't show you. When he comes to, he tells Bernadette that his powers are gone, but I don't think he was being honest. That's our movie. Alright, let's talk about Zapped. This was what I would consider a cable classic from the early to mid-'80s. It was on a lot. It's one of the first films I ever taped, actually. I had it on a tape, a BASF tape. It was the 6th BASF tape that I had, and that's all I had was BASFs at first. So I think it may have been the 6th videotape I ever owned, and I had Zapped and My Bodyguard on it. Now, Zapped is, I guess you could kind of call it a teen sex comedy, because there is enough nudity in here floating around. It stars Scott Baio and Willie Ames. They went on to do Charles in Charge, I think, the year after this thing came out. Jules Shepard's in this movie as well. The main girl, Bernadette, is played by, I forget her name, Felicity or something like that. Felice Schachter. She was on season 1 of The Facts of Life, and Heather Thomas also made her film debut here in Scatman Crothers, and Greg Bradford as the preppy guy who's dating Heather Thomas. He was in a movie called Let's Do It, which I reviewed earlier on this channel. Check that one out. Anyway, they're high school seniors probably, and Scott Baio is the nerdy guy, Barney, and he's in the lab working on stuff, and he accidentally drops this potion that was doing something, and when he comes to, he finds out he has telekinetic powers. He can move things with the power of his mind, make things happen. Well, he tells his friend, I can't remember his name, Willie Ames, but whatever, he tells Willie about it, and Willie's kind of a schemer, and they devise plots of how they can get rich, this sort of thing. Let's go play on a roulette wheel, you know, blah, blah, blah. We can make girls' skirts or fly up, or their shirt blouses open up. They're horny guys, of course. Scott Baio is going to have a thing with Bernadette eventually. Bernadette kind of likes him, doesn't really care for Willie Ames' character that much. There's a subplot here with Heather Thomas. She's a cheerleader at the school. Willie Ames really wants her, but she's dating this college guy, and nonetheless it doesn't stop him. There's just a lot of high school rivalry stuff going back and forth in this movie. Other than that, there's not a whole heck of a lot of plot, just a few days in the life of what's going on here. Now, it's kind of a parody of Carrie. There is a climax at the end of this movie at the prom, and things go haywire, and he makes things happen, but nobody dies like in Harry. There's just a lot of nudity, a lot of full frontal nudity actually even running around going on there. But that's pretty much it about this movie. At the end of this movie, he hooks up with Bernadette, and he tells her that his powers are gone, but they're really not. And that's it. So anyway, Scatman Crothers has a small role in here as the baseball coach. He has a funny scene where he accidentally inhales some marijuana that he wasn't expecting, and he has his dream sequence where his wife is chasing him on a bike and shooting salami at him. She won't let him eat salami. By the way, the wife is played by Ann Esther from Sanford & Son. I believe what I read about this movie is they added a lot of nudity after the fact, after Porky's became really big, and a couple other movies like that. They went back and added some nudity to this. There's also a brief nude scene from Heather Thomas in a photograph. However, it was not her. The filmmakers put her face on the photograph, and she sued them because that was against Screen Actors Guild rules, and she won. So in the credits, it does say there was a body double for Heather Thomas. So there you go. Anyway, Scott Baio, I heard him on Howard Stern a couple years ago, and he talked about this movie, and he said this was the most fun he ever had making a movie. He liked the cast, he liked the crew, the directors, everything. He had more fun making this movie than anything else he did. I believe it. Looks like they're having fun. Now, if you look at IMDb, the Metacritic rating for this is dismal. It's 10. It's the lowest I've ever seen for a movie. But to be fair, there's only like 4 reviews of it. And even those 4 reviews, they should have to add up to 20, not 10. I'm not sure where they came up with that, but whatever, right? I think it's a fun movie. I enjoyed this. This is a movie that I want to revisit every couple of years because I like it. So there you go. It's available on Blu-ray. Might be on DVD too. I'm not sure. I don't think there's any extras on this. Studio Canal put this out, but it's a nice Blu-ray. Looks good. So check it out. Let me know what you think about it. It's called Zapped. Watch it. Bye.